What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today we're going to talk a little bit about body dysmorphia and what body dysmorphia is. There's all different kinds of body dysmorphias, and more than likely, if you're a bodybuilder, you probably have it. Even if you're not a bodybuilder, if you were skinny as a kid, you probably have it. If you were fat as a kid, excuse me, you probably have it. So, what is body dysmorphia? Body dysmorphia is when you look in the mirror, you see something that's not there. So whether it be good or bad or positive or negative, it's just not what you're seeing in the mirror. So let me begin with, so I was a small kid. I was kind of a chubby little baby, and I was a very thin teenager. So as I started growing with weights, I had 200 pounds. I was still skinny. I looked in the mirror and still saw myself as skinny. I said, all right, I want to get to 215. I got to 215. I was still skinny. Now, mind you, guys that I saw at 170, 180 pounds, I thought looked big. But here I was, outweighing them by 30 pounds, and I still felt small when I looked in the mirror. 250 pounds. Because I'm not the 300-pound monsters in the magazines, I'm still skinny. 250 pounds. That's not a skinny person by any stretch of the imagination, let alone being the percent body fat that I was at the time. That's not small. I took up a lot of space. That's a 3XL shirt that's tight in the arms. That's a big person. You can't buy clothes at a normal store. You have to go to the tall and fat guy shop to get ugly clothes that fit you. You know, and I definitely noticed that there's a difference between men and women with body dysmorphia also. I have, people that I know, women that are 104 pounds, and they'll look at themselves and go, oh my God, I'm fat. Now, that's not 104 pounds skinny fat. That's 104 pounds tight, like abs, lower back striated, and they still see themselves as fat. Because they will always perceive, if they weighed, at 5'1", if they weighed 130 pounds at one point, which they perceive as fat, even though they're 104 now, they still perceive themselves as fat. I got a guy that I train who, no matter what he does, he sees himself as the 300-pound guy he once was, and he's 230 now. And he looks at his arms, and he's got 19-inch arms that are lean 19-inch arms, and he sees his arms as skinny fat. Oh, they're small. We tape them 19. I'm like, dude, that's bigger than 99% of most people who's training in the gym's arms. And then you can see the skin is about as thin as the skin on the back of my hand. And he's like, oh, they're small and they're fat. That's the way he's always going to see himself. I'm not sure how to break that trend, but, there's definitely something to be said about as you progress, sometimes you don't see yourself in the mirror as you actually look. I did train one guy, the story of that kid that wanted to be Mr. Olympia. And I swear, when he looked in the mirror, he saw Lee Haney. But in reality, he was a 155-pound skinny fat kid that, thought he was a bodybuilder. He saw a competitive bodybuilder when he looked in the mirror. He would pose, and every picture he took, he would flex his lats in. I'm like, he didn't look anything like he even worked out. So, in his head, his dysmorphia was he saw himself as a big, jacked up, bodybuilder. So, there's different kinds of body dysmorphia. Now, there's also a delusional body dysmorphia. And this comes into play where someone has taken steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, and gained some muscle or whatever. But yet they believe, and this ties into what we've been talking about lately, they believe they have not lost any gains. Now, what are gains? If you got fat on steroids, shame on you, because you're fat. You should be building muscle like crazy. If you're eating right and training right to get the right stimulus and recovering, you should be building muscle like a maniac while you're taking steroids. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, one of two things has happened. One, they got bullshit steroids. They were bunk. They didn't work. They injected them in their body, or they took their pills or whatever, and they overate and trained hard and got fatter. So now they gained 15 pounds of body weight, which is really nothing to gain on a cycle, to be honest with you. If it's legit gear, you can gain 15 pounds of lean weight like that. And they stop taking it, and they say, wow, look, I've maintained all my gains. I'm still up 15 pounds. I haven't lost a single thing. It's because it wasn't real gear to begin with. You just fucking pushed yourself and overate and got fat. And now I'm still just as lean. Take pictures. Pictures. Here's your before picture. And I don't want an after picture, because you could take you could doctor that bullshit. Take a before picture and make a video of yourself now, standing in the same position, in the same lighting, and let's compare and see how you look. If you look exactly the same on cycle and exactly the same off cycle, you gained 15 pounds, it wasn't real gear. It was bullshit. You finally gained over the course of 3 months, which you could have gained on your own, but if you got your body fat back down to where it was before you started your cycle, you would have seen that you gained nada, zip, zero, zilch, nothing. Now, The other ones are, they took some steroids and they blew up and they got stronger and they got bigger and their face got all puffy, like, I'm on steroids, this is awesome. And then they come off the steroids and the first thing they do is, shit, I gotta eat. They start eating more. Now, I call it food mass, you can call it fecal mass, you can call it whatever the fuck you want. But anybody who started a contest diet knows within that first couple of weeks, you drop some water when you start restricting your carbs and you start to shit more. When you start to shit more, you realize how much shit you actually had in you. Now, when you come off the steroids, your body doesn't process the foods as fast. Your metabolism is not as fast. So you actually have more food mass or fecal mass or whatever the fuck it is in your body. And I've seen up to like 3, 4, 5 pounds of that. So now if you've gained 15 pounds on a cycle, you come off, you're eating that food, now there's 5 pounds right there that you're not going to lose because you get more of the food mass in your body. Now, because you're not testing body fat and you're not taking these pictures, you see, oh, my clothes are still fitting the same way, the muscle mass starts to come down. It takes about maybe 8 to 12 weeks for your body to stop using these drugs, flush them out of the system, and start going backwards. As it comes down, you don't even notice it, but your body fat's going up. And you're watching the scale and you're seeing it maintain, but your body fat's creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. And you don't see it. You really don't see it. You don't notice it. And all of a sudden, the muscle's down, the fat's up, the body weight's the same. You're like, dude, I retained all my gains. No, you didn't. You didn't retain any goddamn gains. You basically put on some body fat and lost all your muscle gains. Gains are not by the scale. Gains are not weight. Gains are lean muscle tissue. Okay? Those are gains. So if you are the same weight, again, take the picture before your cycle, take the picture at the end of your cycle, take a picture 6 months after your cycle. Put them all together. Look at what you look like. Take your body fat, skin folds, and don't test it and have, okay, I get this percent. That's bullshit. I don't want to hear percents. I want to see you take the skin fold, you measure the skin fold, and then write the number down. You write down all the spots. Now you have a fat index number, a FIN number, and that means how much the skin folds add up to. That number, whether it goes up or down, will determine when you're either gaining body fat or not. The whole certain sites to percent, it's so inaccurate. It's not even funny. It can come out completely retarded on all aspects. And next thing you know, somebody's like, "Oh, I dropped 4% body fat and gained fucking 4 pounds when I came off my cycle." No, you didn't. The skin fold calipers read it freaking wrong. And I've seen this done 1,000 times, and it's happened to me too. When my body fat was going down, but other skin folds were going up for whatever reason it was. And certain ones went down, and it affected the way that my body fat was read. And that will give someone that perception, wow, I'm losing body fat and gaining muscle off my cycle. But in actuality, what's happened is you've gained a bunch of food mass in your stomach, gained body fat, lost muscle, and possibly started a creatine, which one guy said, which creatine helps you store muscle and water in the muscle. So now basically you have, oh, I kept my gains. Nope, that's not what happened. But again, this is the part of this dysmorphia thing. You're seeing something that you want to see that's not really there. So I hope this clears up a little bit about why you see that 140-pound guy walk around the gym like this, like he's carrying watermelons, or you have the 250-pound jacked up guy sitting there all like, I'm small, I'm skinny, because they have body dysmorphia like all the rest of us do, myself included. Bios3training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. www.bios3training.com is the blog, and we're out.